video. There is no way that you can walk into an interview and just freestyle everything. I remember when I was graduating nursing school, and I had a lot of questions about when to apply for my first job and what to expect for my first interview. And I remember having so many questions that I wish that someone will help me answer. And I felt so confused as far as how to prepare for my first nursing job interview and what to expect, what kind of questions to ask. So in honor of graduation season, I thought that I would start with giving you guys some advice, some tips and some tricks so that you can be prepared, so that you can actually get the dream job that you've always wanted to get. I'm really hoping that you get something valuable. I am really hoping that they help you, because once I applied for my first job, I was able to get my first job on my first interview. First, I wanted to give you just a very small background about myself and my career. I have talked very shortly about my background and the symptoms for COVID-19 video that I did, which I will link right here if you're interested in checking that out. So I have been a nurse for almost 2 years now. I graduated in July. However, I was able to start my first job in October of 2018. I did a 1-year program, which was a bachelor's degrees program. It was an accelerated program. So the job that I wanted to get at the time, I wanted to be what we call a float nurse. So I get to go into different units, work with different population of patients. That gives you a wide range of experience and a well-rounded experience as a registered nurse. And keep in mind, I was just a new graduate student without any nursing experience, although I had been working in a hospital before. However, I had no other experience other than my clinicals. I was able to receive the position on my first interview. So right now, I currently work as a full-time registered nurse in a float pool department. We also call it a resource unit department. I know that there are a lot of students graduating right now, so regardless of your background choice, I believe that all of those steps that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video right now will also help you. These are not just for nursing students. Even though I am a nurse and I target nursing students. However, if you have a cousin, if you have a niece, if you have anyone in your family right now who just graduated and are in search of a job, they could follow all of the steps that I'm going to share in this video, and I believe that they will be helpful for them. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this video, and please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with a loved one, someone you know that will benefit greatly from my channel. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing that I believe that you need to have is your resume. So your resume is like the first thing that the employer is going to see whenever you apply for a job. So they haven't encountered you, they haven't talked to you, they haven't seen you face to face. So your resume is going to be the first thing that you need to work on. So you can have a rough draft at first. However, you need to be very careful about what you put on your resume. And I would really advise that if you have somebody that you trust, somebody that knows you, you have someone look over your resume for you. So when I was applying for my first job as a registered nurse, what I did is I used one of my professors to look over my resume, and she gave me some tips and some tricks. She crossed out some things that was redundant, some things I didn't need out of my resume. So always find someone who you trust, someone who is experienced in the field and they know what the employers are looking for. Don't ever send out your resume without reviewing over it. Absolutely, you need to study your resume. You need to know everything that's on your resume, so that when you get the interview and they ask you a question on what's on the resume, you are able to explain yourself, because you're well aware of what's down on your resume. The other thing is to research the company that you're gonna be applying to. It is super, super duper important for you to be familiar with the company's philosophy, the values of the company, because who wants to work for a company that you're not familiar with, Anyway, the employer is going to ask you questions about the company. They will ask you questions like, what makes you interested in applying for this position? Or what makes you interested in working for us as far as the employer is concerned? So you need to be familiar with all those things. And you also want to know that you are in good hands as well. You don't want to just work for anyone that's offering a job. The reason why you got the interview is because they're interested in you. So you have some sort of leverage to showcase your talent, to showcase that you have been doing your research on the company and that you know what you're getting yourself into. And the more familiar that you are with the place, the more chance that you have to get the position that you are applying for. Because, like I said before, there is actually a great chance. I can bet 9 out of 10 times the employer is going to ask you, why are you interested in working for us? So you should be able to go down the list as far as, from whatever research that you have done, so that you can let them know why you are interested in working for them. So let's just say that you apply for a certain position and you got the interview, right? That's awesome. That's great. That's fantastic, right? However, you need to prepare for the interview. There is no way that you can walk into an interview and just freestyle everything. You have to be prepared for the interview. So, some ways to be prepared for the interview is you need to have a mock interview, either in your mirror, or if you trust anyone else, if you're not shy like me, you can have a friend, a family member to just ask you questions, and you'll be able to answer those questions. They should be able to give you feedback as far as how you're doing, as far as how you're answering those questions. Then you'll be able to figure out your strengths and your weaknesses, and you'll be able to work on those things. All of this preparation is going to make you a very strong candidate, so that anybody else who interviews for the same position that you do will not be able to compete with you. A lot of people undermine this part of getting a position. The other thing I would say is to make sure that all of your references are in tip-top shape. You want to make sure all the people that you want to use as references, you have already talked to them. You let them know that you have an interview and that you are very interested in this position, and you would love to put their name down on the reference sheet. so that they can give you a reference. And also make sure that those people, they actually know you. They know your work ethics, they know how you work, they know what kind of person that you are, they know your values, they know what you believe in, and they believe in you as well. You know what I mean? You want people to say good things about you. You don't want the employer to call and for them not to have anything good to say about you. You want to choose people that actually will give you a good reference. Don't be afraid to ask someone you know who works at the place that you want to interview in, who actually is already part of the company. Don't be afraid to ask, if you know anyone, if you know someone who knows someone, don't be afraid to ask those people to give you a reference, because the employer already know those people and they trust them because they are already part of the company. So that will be much easier, and they will trust their opinion about you so much more strongly than someone who they never met before. So make sure that you use all of the resources that you have so that you're able to get that job that you want to get. Listen up, this is super important, okay? You have to dress to impress. You have to dress to impress. Unfortunately, the first thing that the person who's going to interview you will see is you as a person, is the way that you present yourself. You haven't talked to them, you haven't opened up your mouth, you haven't explained how great that you are for the position that you are interviewing for, but they see you from head to toe. So the way that you present yourself, how you dress, how you your demeanor when you're walking into the interview it is super important. And also make sure that you have a smile on your face, make sure that you show that you want to be there, you are excited for this interview. So do not forget to dress to impress. The last thing I would say that could really be a game changer for you to get this position that you're so excited to get is to have questions. At the end of the interview, after the interviewer gives you all of the information that you need, I'm pretty sure that they will ask you if you have any questions. And I would say to have at least 3 questions that you want to ask. Make sure that you have some questions written down, already prepared to go. These questions should be actually in your mind. You shouldn't be flipping through papers to get those questions. Those are things that you've already thought about. Always make sure that you ask something like, what is the environment like? What is the culture of the specific unit, especially for nurses? Make sure that you ask questions like, how is the turnover in this unit, so that you make sure, it's a great environment. It's not an environment where nurses are always quitting and they're always hiring new nurses to come on, because you want to make sure that you get the best training, you get the best experience. Especially right now, things may look a little different. You may have to have a virtual interview. I'm not sure what the different institutions are doing right now, but even though you're having a virtual interview, you should still prepare like you're having an interview face-to-face with the interviewer, because it still holds very true everything that I've shared with you in this video. That being said, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I was so excited to make this video for anyone who is currently graduating, who's looking for a job right now, and I hope that you got value out of this video. Please consider sharing, subscribing, liking this video, and don't forget to come back for more, because I am going to be sharing a whole bunch of information about nursing lifestyle, and a whole bunch of different things that you don't want to miss on this channel. So guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.